So within those years of that first time that it happened with my uncle, in between that time, I started learning the dynamics of my household. And my mom and dad, they worked really hard so that we could, I guess, have a decent living. We moved out to the suburbs. They moved out there before I was born. My parents are from the west side of Chicago. And so we moved out to Markham, Illinois, which is the suburbs of Chicago. Decent living. It was still Caucasians and stuff like that living in the neighborhood when we moved there. One of the first black families to move there. And so whenever my parents would be gone and go to work, my brothers started getting a chain and chaining me to a door and beating on me. Punching me in the face, kicking me, beating me. And I just would cry. I didn't understand why they were doing it, why they thought it was funny. And then when my mom would come home, of course, I would run to my mom, beat up, black eyes, crying. And she would tell me, go sit down. Get out of my face. And I thought of her as my protector, but I'm the only girl. I have all brothers, and she just didn't show me that love or attention and didn't care that I was beat up. And I just didn't get it. I didn't know what to do. So at a very young age, I became suicidal. And I started stabbing my teddy bear up. I mean, stabbing it up. And my mom came in one day and saw the knife in my teddy bear. She's like, why are you stabbing up a teddy bear? But I did not know how to articulate to her how much I was hurting. And the fact that she didn't pay attention when I did come to her, it made me just not feel open enough to express myself. And so she basically kind of just like, stop doing that. That's stupid. Don't do stupid stuff. You know, such and such. And I'm like, okay. But still feeling so deeply hurt inside. Not being able to go to my dad. I didn't know how to say anything to my dad. He loved me. He showed me affection and attention, whereas to my mom, really didn't show me any. She kind of was more into being uplifting to my brothers, letting the young men know in her family that they were important. But it's a cycle, it's a generational curse, because it's like a lot of black moms did that. And they put a lot of emphasis and everything into their sons, and then they put their daughters last and didn't give us what we needed to be able to move forward and become productive young women just in life. So within the getting beaten, chained up, my uncle doing stuff, it came to where I went with my friend one day. We were walking to the store and we saw my uncle. Oh my gosh. Every time I would see my uncle, it would put such a deep, my heart start beating. I was super nervous. I didn't know what to do. And so I told my friend. That's the second person I told. And I said, girl, my uncle be trying to touch on me. And I don't know, she said, well, did you tell your mom? And I said, no, I really haven't told anyone. So he stops and he's like, what are you doing? And I said, well, we're walking to the store. He said, well, I need some clothes detergent. Come over my house and get the money and go get me some clothes detergent. Now, see, I'm an adult now. And that nigga was grown. You know what? He was an adult and he was driving. He could have went and got his own detergent. But he was manipulative in the mind and trying to get away to get me to his home. And the way we were raised, like, you're supposed to respect your elders, and that's my uncle. So if my uncle was telling me, come get this money and go to the store, I'm gonna do it. Because if he tells my dad that he told me to do that and I didn't do it, I would be in trouble. So I go and get the money, and when me and my friend went to the door, I told her, make sure you come in here with me. She's like, okay. I said, I'm scared of him, but I gotta do what he says. And so, when I knocked on the door, he tells her, hey, stay outside. You can't come in my house. And when I walked in the door, like, he didn't even get the door closed good. And he started groping me, and I didn't know how to react. Like, you got to consider I'm 9 years old at this point. And so I got the money and tried to hurry outside. Like, whenever I would communicate and talk to him, I'm like, okay, cause he's filling me up, and I'm talking while he's filling me up. Like, Uncle, well, give me the money. Okay, I'll bring it right back. Very nervous. Long story short, I get the money, rush outside, and my friend is like, girl, yeah, you need to watch it. Like, he wouldn't even let me come in. Why wouldn't he let me come in? And woo woo. And it just was horrifying. It's like I spent my entire childhood terrified, petrified. And then to even make insult to injury, all my brothers are older than me, but my middle older brother, I consider is a sexual deviant. And like within that time, he also tried to molest me. So he rushes me in the bathroom, starts pumping on me in the corner, and I'm like, stop. Digging in his face. Like, stop. And I said, I'm telling on you. And he stopped. So from that point, none of my brothers have ever tried to do anything to violate me, just him. But and no one has penetrated me. I'm a virgin still. Of course, I'm only 9, so I'm expected to be. Even though I had people trying to molest me, nobody had penetrated my body. And so I didn't know about intimacy or sex. I was too young and should not have been involved in any of those things. But like I'm telling you, I couldn't go to my mom and I couldn't go to my dad. And the two people that I had gone to, when it comes down to it, they weren't able to do anything about it. They probably were just as afraid as I am, or I was, excuse me. But so we'll go on. I'm gonna stop it and follow through with another video.